Thank you so much. Thanks, guys.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts, hold on tight, for one crazy, epically cool ride tonight on the Josh Nolan and Oliver S. Full Throttle Racing Show. #1 on YouTube. We have with us tonight race car driver Brian Mcquary. Welcome to the show, Brian.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So let's talk about your racing career. How did it all start for you?
Honestly, started whenever I was about, I'd say about 15. Of course, you go into the tracks with your dad and uncles and family and stuff forever, and then all of a sudden we got into the go-kart racing, and then so we just started racing go-karts for a couple of years, and then started to have a family and got out of racing for a little bit, and then when some things had settled down, because I coached high school baseball for a good while, and whenever I stepped out of that, kind of got back going to the tracks again and kind of fell right back in love with it, like I never skipped a beat, and the kids and wife were happy with it, and so we just picked right back up and went back at it.
So what was it like for you to climb behind the wheel of a race car for the first time?
Well, I'll be honest with you, for me, it was the most peaceful, calming thing in the world. You got a little bit of adrenaline, but all of a sudden you're by yourself, and just to feel that, being out on that track and I don't know, just that motor and the atmosphere alone, sets the stage before you get in that car when you're watching the other cars and stuff. But it is the most calming and peaceful thing for me that's it. I know people don't understand it, but you kind of tune in, and everything's gone for those couple laps while you're out there, except for just you. So it's pretty peaceful for me.
So how did you come about coming up with your racing number?
All right, so when we started with the go-karts, we were actually 21M. So, the Mcquary 21 racing. So, but when we got into the mini sprint series, there's, you got a lot of 21s out there and stuff and stuff. So, we honestly saw a car that didn't have a number. It was actually an X. So we was like, man, wouldn't that be cool to just kind of, change that up a little bit, to kind of have that stick out there a little bit, make it look a little different. So that's where we came up with using M21. And when I kind of started saying it and looking at it, my son helps me in the pits and stuff, and he's taking over. And he's like, Dad, I really like it. And I was like, I do too. So it just kind of got that vibe with it. And we knew that was it, to go that route. So
So
that's,
okay, who do you have for sponsors on your racing team?
we have the 1-2 Tree Service. He's a local tree trimmer and bush trimming guy, um, and he's been around forever. And he's always at the tracks and stuff. And whenever I got back into racing, and I was seeing him at the tracks and stuff, and I've already knew who he was, so went and approached him. He's like, I would love to be able to have something sponsored at that track, to see my sponsor, my name going around, setting up in there. And then it's Cowboys, which is kind of like a thrift shop, a secondhand, flea market type thing. And he's kind of got a hand in that too a little bit. And he's like, man, we could probably get these guys to come sponsor. And so it's like, well, yeah, I mean, we're going to take them too. And then we have a Shelly Salt Creations, which it's a local shirt company, and sticker design company and stuff like that. So it's like it all tied into what was after. Our sponsors at the tracks all the time. We're needing decals and shirts made for racing and fans and family. So they all kind of just fell in my lap a little bit and went together and ran with it. And they've all been real good sponsors for us so far.
Okay, are you presently looking for more sponsors?
We always look for, more sponsors. We have certain people that want it, but around here, we got, it's like year to year, like, hey, we'll come on board next year. Like, we had Rinky Irrigation last year. They're only allowed so much each year, and they got to alternate a little bit. So he's like, so we lost them for this year, but coming back around next year, he's like, do not forget us. So but yeah, we're always in touch. And then once the season starts too, and you're kind of filling out how the weekends go, and they see the car and whatnot. And when we tell them too, we'll drop off the car at any location as long as we're not running just for advertisement and stuff. That's kind of like a big catch for some of these places, and that's what they like, talking to. So we've got a couple that are still looking to kind of jump on board a little bit with us. And as soon as they get to go, we'll probably get them on there. So, but yes, always looking for new sponsors.
Okay. So okay, how much success have you had as a race car driver?
Well, so last year in the go-kart series, we had pretty good success running a good series around here. But since we jumped in the mini sprints, we kind of jumped in just like, man, we want to get our feet wet. Let's try it out. And we really weren't doing too bad, but we had a kind of an outdated car and whatnot. And with the success we were having with what we had, we was like, if we're going to do this, we need to upgrade. So we kind of upgraded towards the end of the season last year, and that's when we started running, closer to the top, and in the top tens more of a lot more. And so I believe there was, I think 40 some listed drivers in our class. So our rookie year, we finished 14th, and never got to the podium, but got close a couple times. Was running some thirds and fourths. Chain pop or something happened with tires that kind of bit us. But so going into this season, uh, with the knowledge of the off season, with some good racers that have helped me out along the way and got me going, and so we're really looking forward to this season. Let's put it that way. Well, how we ended last year and how quick we kind of caught back on once getting back in that car.
So, okay, what's an awesome day at the racetrack look like for you?
An awesome day at the racetrack. Well, for starters, man, just getting there early. I mean, that vibe at a track, especially, I mean, it's just that feeling. But a good day at the racetracks for us is that excitement that builds as we get closer. You're just waiting for that horn for that drivers meeting, and when the drivers meeting happens, it's about go time, and that's when things start kicking in, and you're like double checking yourself and getting out on that track. And I mean, whether you qualify good or not, but the awesome part about it is getting in that pack and having to drive. That feeling of having to drive, whether you got to go high or low. I mean, you can follow a guy, but you can't pass him following him. So finding that way to get that car to do what it needs to do. I mean, at the end of the night, if just that feeling alone makes for an awesome night for us, but driving, I mean, sure beats just making laps up there by yourself, but that pack racing is something that just really intensifies it a little bit and makes it that's where it's at.
So, what's an awesome day at the race shop look like for you then?
Uh, that's kind of a good question. I mean, if we can go there and we unload and we're not too far off, I mean that's gonna set our tone. So an awesome day at the racetrack for us is is really right now being competitive. I mean, if we can leave being competitive and and and, and we're running, that's an awesome night for us. I mean, honestly, but because you got those nights you can't figure anything out, and those are lonely nights, and you don't sleep because you're trying to rack your brain on what your car did. But if we go in there and we compete and we can run up top, that's a pretty awesome night for us.
Okay, so what is your home racetrack you race on?
Well, so we race in the Midwest Mini Sprint circuit, and it's they dictate which track. Now, our closest home track would be Tri-State Speedway in Hopstad, Indiana. That's the closest, and but we race at Tri-State. We race at Wayne City, Illinois. We race at Circle City, Indianapolis. We race at Bloomington Speedway in Bloomington, Indiana. We race at Paragon Speedway. That's around Spencer, Indiana. We race at Lincoln Park Speedway. There, it's close to Putnamville, and feel like I'm leaving one out. But so our circuit takes us to multiple tracks. They dictate where we run.
Okay, so what's your favorite racetrack you've ever raced on?
I like the short tracks. I mean, you take us to Circle City or Wayne City Speedway, and we run real good at those little shorter tracks. They're more of a dry, slick track. You know, a lot of driving involved. Cars, you know, a lot of times sideways down the straightaways and stuff, and trying to get that grip. So those are more of my favorite tracks that we tend to do. Run real good at. Tri-State's a little different. It's love the atmosphere. It's probably our favorite track to be at. The atmosphere is just kind of bar none to any. I mean, it's full. People love the racing there, but the track is very, very tricky. He changes it up a lot. I mean, he's got a pond out back. I mean, he uses the kind of the slime off the pond. He uses wood chips in there, and he changes it all the time. So it can be a very frustrating track, but you never know how he's going to have it. And whether it be sprint car drivers or anybody else, first thing they'll tell you is it's the toughest track to figure out. But that's one of our favorite atmospheric tracks. But the short track, Circle City and Wayne City, is really where we strive and we drive good.
So, are you pretty good about reading the racetrack?
Yes, yeah. I mean, getting out there and understanding what the track's doing, and of course, each track once we've been there, we get a better feel for it. So, you know, after hot laps and understand what the car did, and then going out there and seeing, you know, hey, is it slick? But is it a dry slick? Is it a wet slick? Um, but we're pretty good at reading those tracks and making the adjustments we need to do to set the car up to move forward throughout the night.
So, where do you see yourself at with your racing career as you get further into it?
Honestly, we're kind of hoping that we progress a lot more this season, and really looking to put ourselves next season with some sponsors we've been talking to and trying to keep. And if we can keep our momentum the way we've been running a little bit so far at most of these tracks, really hoping to get ourselves in a 305 or a 410 headed into next season.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So, who's your racing hero?
Oh man, I'll tell you what. Growing up, you couldn't be watching Steve Kinzer. I mean, watching him whip that around the track and some of those guys like that. But you also can't. I mean, that was just a guy I just loved to watch. I still catch myself going watching old videos of him, just seeing how he ran some of the tracks when he was on them with those. But yeah, these days you kind of look up to Kyle Larson too. I mean, that guy can, if you give it to him, he can put it around a track, and that's impressive. So I mean, I really look up to him, and just how he carries himself and handles himself, and he's just like a kid out there having fun, and that's what makes it good.
Okay, so what do you like to do for fun away from the racetrack?
I'm a very oriented guy, but away from the racetrack, if it's anything with the family, but I really love baseball. So I did spend 10 years coaching high school baseball and stuff. So I still find enjoyment, and I have kids that come by and I help out, give baseball lessons and coaching lessons throughout the week and stuff. And sometimes I still throw in coaching some travel ball kids on the weekend, but throw that in there with a little bit of fishing, and I got I got my hands full, and that's all I need. That relaxing feeling of fishing with the family and stuff, and that's what I like to do.
So who's all on your racing crew?
What was that?
Who's all on your racing crew?
Uh, well, I got my son, which he's only 13, but he can tell you a lot, and he can also tell you a lot about how to what the car's doing when he's up there seeing and stuff. So he's come a long way in that aspect. Where I honestly, I really take his advice a lot. But so that's Riker McCrary. I also have a couple cousins, Jamie McCrary. I got Jordan Naylor. His brother, uh, can't remember his name offhand, but he's spent a lot of times in a lot of years in modified, and he's been around it for a while. And Damon Owens, he ran some street stock back in the day, but those are the main guys that travel with me and help me work on the car during the week and are at the track with us and helping us uh, make the adjustments. So,
Who are some of your friends at the racetrack?
Well, you sound good. So
and you talk about racers or
Yeah, racers. Yeah.
Oh man, Eli Wilhelmus, kid is amazing. He won the MMSA sprints last year, and he's up in the 410s now. And when I got into racing and struggling a little bit, and I got that new car, I mean, he came out of the blue, and honestly, hooking up with him really changed our racing career moving forward. And he helped me understand these cars and hanging out at his garage and whatnot. And then you got Matt Holden and Eli Holden, which they run a different series, but those guys they call, hey, how'd it do? I mean, we touch base every night. They're like, I mean, I can call and ask them questions. I mean, they can do that. If they're not running, they tend to come by and and help us out and stuff like that too. I mean, those two individually have really stepped our game up in the racing and moved us forward. And a bunch of good guys at the track. You
Okay.
also got Jess Anderson and Logan Anderson. They run different class, but they used to run the mini sprints and spent many nights with there. And I mean, just the all around racing atmosphere. And they come over in the garage, or I'm over in their garage too. So I mean, those are all good friends and real close friends that I look up to, and if I any doubts, any questions, any of us are our crew. I mean, they're there for us, and that you can't beat that.
So when you're at the racetrack, what's your favorite thing to eat at the racetrack?
Oh, I do too.
Well, each one's a little bit different. We can go to Wayne County, and man, they got the best pulled pork barbecue sandwiches I've ever ate. And I mean, you go to Tri-State Speedway, and you can't beat the burgers there. Daywig Burgers. I mean, it's a local meat place, so and they're great. But then you get up to Circle City, and I mean, they might have the best chicken sandwiches, or even chicken fingers to eat. I mean, so each track's got its own sandwich or goods, and each time we go there, that's our pick at that track, depending on where we're at.
So what's your favorite go-to restaurant away from the racetrack?
Oh man, it's really not a local restaurant, but there's this JJ's sports bar and grill in Mount Carmel, Illinois, and it's got the perfect atmosphere and just nice and laid back, and everybody's friendly there. But if we're staying at home, we got a local. It's called Bob's Pizza, and it's known and won many contests for its pizza for in the tri-state area for being some of the best pizza. But if we're staying home, it's that. If we tend to get away over into Illinois, we try to make it over to JJ's.
Okay. So okay, when you're strapped in your race car, getting ready to go on the track, what helps get you focused to go out there?
Yeah.
Ah, the one thing that actually makes me the most focused is when I'm sitting there and I'm starting to get in there and we're overthinking a little bit. When I look to the left and I got my son and my little daughter right there with those fists up there, that relaxes me, and that will really get me into focus because I know they're getting ready to go up there and watch me. So that part right there, it tends to get me focused better than anything else. Like when they're not there, it's a little different vibe. Like those little, some of the things stay with me. It's just not the same vibe, but that will really hone me in and focus a little bit, and kind of draw me back to where I'm just worried about racing now. So, but that little bit right there.
So do you have a racing nickname?
Uh, that we don't. Everybody just calls me B-Mac. I
Okay.
don't know where that came from. It's somebody called one day, and next thing I know, everybody B-Mac, B-Mac. I mean, usually if somebody says Brian Mcquary, they're always like, "Was that B-Mac?" And they're like, "Yeah, well, I know him by that name, but not by."
So do you have any crazy racing stories you'd like to share with us?
Oh, crazy racing stories. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Like they always said, double check. And so we're at Tri-State Speedway, and thought we had everything in line and whatnot. And we come around the corner, and our top wing flies off.
Uh-oh.
And at first, I'm like, "What just happened?" But of course, when we get back in there and we're putting everything, it was one of those. Well, I thought you did that, or I thought you did that. And here we are out there, and you don't see too many top wings go flying off a car. So that's where the checklist started being made for sure. And it doesn't get checked unless somebody is for sure that they got everything done. But yeah, you couldn't beat that night.
Okay. So do you have a racing page that racing fans can follow you on?
We don't at the moment, but of course, just like most younger kids, my son's got his camera and stuff. He's starting to take some things, and we're getting ready to start our own racing page, which will be BMR Racing. Um, uh, we'll get it up and loaded. He's kind of started on all that, but he hasn't put it all together yet until he gets confirmation with, am I all right with it? Is he all right with it? And there, but so I'm hoping, honestly,
I'm done.
with everything he's got, I think he said maybe another week or two, and we should have that up and going, which should bring a lot of videos, merchandise, and just ways to thank our sponsors or anybody else who wants to follow us and stay in touch, or just who just enjoys the racing pages alone. So
Okay, so do you have any big racing events you're looking forward to racing in this year?
uh yes we are. The Hopstop Hustler, which is towards the end, which in the MMSA only takes the top 20, which we made it last year, which honestly, Tri-State's our favorite track. To probably the atmosphere and the vibe, but it's probably one of our worst tracks that we run at. We just can't get if we get the car not push, then we can't get no grip. So it's been a struggle for us. But that atmosphere of the night of the Hustler is, there's not standing room left. I mean, we look forward to hopefully making that race, and the atmosphere. I mean, just the the track itself. That night is just very special and different than a normal night. I mean, you look up there, and when they dim the lights, and the everybody's got their lights on the flashlights while we're doing the parade laps, and when you actually see every seat full. I mean, that really adds to the go whenever that green flag gets dropped. So we look forward to that race.
So do you have any advice out there for the kids coming up in the racing world?
Really, I would. I mean, you can't be so hard on yourself if you're not getting it at first. I mean, it's a learning progress, but really surround yourself with people you believe in, that believe in you, and that are going to stick through you. Because some people, they tend to always want to get around the ones who are winning and having the success, but there are people out there, like I said, everybody in my pit. Holdens and Wilhelmuses and Andersons. I mean, those guys have been, I mean, great. They're top-notch racers, and but they have given me the tools to really jump forward fast. And so, I mean, find something that's going to stick behind you, and I believe that's the way to get you going forward. Faster, even though it might not be as fast as they want. Don't give up on it just because it's not happening right away, because it changes once it clicks and you understand it. You really take off. But when that is different for everybody else.
Is there anybody else you'd like to thank you for helping you get this far with your racing career?
If I left here and I didn't thank my wife who gave me the okay to go get everything and get started, um, I couldn't have done it without her either, because she's the one that said, let's go. And she's behind me every step. I mean, every weekend's not a cheap weekend, and you got to put money into it somehow, some way. And never a word. Hey, it's always about, let's get this car ready. And what do we need for the next weekend to go compete? And so got to go. Can't go without thanking her. I mean, family, like I said, you got my crew, Jamie Mcquary and his family, and Damon Owens and Neller and my kids and the guys I just told you who are racers and are at the track. Got to thank those guys, because everybody's there to help me, and if it weren't for them, I wouldn't have progressed as fast as I have so far.
Okay, so at this portion of the show, Brian, I'd like to turn the mic over to my guest. If they have a couple questions they would like to ask me, they can more than welcome ask me a couple questions.
Yeah, not a problem.
Okay, you're up.
All righty.
I bet you would. Oh, I know.
So do you have any questions for me, Brian?
Oh, sorry about that. I couldn't hear you cut out there for a minute.
Yeah.
With your show and that experience and everything you get to talk to and I mean, is it a learning process for you too, where I mean, it's not where somebody else is, you're always taking something from somebody else that you maybe not have heard here and there, and kind of adds to the excitement and thrill of your show?
Yeah. I love learning about new race car drivers and how they race and stuff like that.
I could imagine that. Have you? I'm sure you have, but out of all the racers you talked to, is there a good story at the track that you heard that you can share that maybe I haven't heard so far, that just kind of
I've met quite a few race car drivers through the racing show, and I'll tell you what, the one that that sticks out to my memory, and it took me a little while to track these guys down, but I don't know, are you familiar with the Indy 500 at all?
Oh yeah, yes, not too
Okay.
far away from it.
I tracked down two-time Indianapolis 500 champion Dan Weldon's two boys, Oliver and Sebastian, and had them on the show, and it was quite interesting to hear their story and stories about their dad.
Oh, I bet. That's good. Good stuff. Guess my one other question I'd have, I mean, out of all, I mean, like you said, you talk to a lot of racers and stuff. I mean, what's the one tip that you would give that somebody has said about racing, that if you had to give to a young racer or somebody starting up, that has stuck in your mind, that you've heard from somebody that said, man, that's exactly what I would tell that racer if he was asking me?
I would say patience. Patience on the racetrack gets you where you need to be.
Definitely. Yeah, but other than that, I can't think of anything else off the top of my head.
But I would like to thank you for being on our racing show tonight. I will call you in just a little bit to thank you. I will have you step out, Brian, so I can do a couple racing news things, and I will call you.
Hey, I appreciate the time, and I enjoy the show.
Thank you very much.
We were talking about food and stuff. I remember my brother-in-law saying one time, he looked on a can of, because he always made pumpkin pie, and he looked on a can of pumpkin once. And he said, when I seen it came from China, it went straight in the garbage. I don't even look at that stuff. But he said, anything from China went in the garbage.
Get out.
I know.
There's some children your age, huh?
Oh, me either, but there's a
So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Brian Mcquary on our racing show tonight.
Yeah.
Racing news wise for you, Kyle Larson is getting comfortable back in an Indy cars, so that way he can go out and race the Indy 500 this year. Penske is already up to speed, so we'll see where the Indy 500 pans out this year. I'll tell you what, racing wise, racing is in full swing. Definitely. But if you would like to sponsor a racing show or be on our racing show, feel free to call us or text us at 712-209-7138, or you can email us at jjnolan151@gmail.com. Also, congratulations to Lawrence Larry Kelleher for winning 3 micro sprint races in a row. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have a good night. Catch you later on another episode of the Josh Nolan and LRS Full Throttle Racing Show. #1 on YouTube.